So we can all agree stuff from Japan is definitely some of the best, right? You got your main things: anime, figures, oddly shaped printed pillows, food. However, Japan also, surprisingly, has quite the affinity for Thomas the Tank Engine, beginning from his heyday.
And the books were very popular long before the television series. And I do think that's because in Japan trains are a very important part of daily life.
トーマスの市場規模をお話ししていただけますでしょうか。
日本におけるトーマスの市場規模で、過去何年かあるんですが、その中で一番大きかった年が約市場規模で170億円ほどの規模になりました。
So, of course, being Japan, they made some of the best Thomas merchandise out there, from the iconic and well-beloved capsule Playrail to the lesser-known but still incredible Nakayoshi. However, this video is focused on two engines from one of the best ranges in my opinion, Departing Now. In reality, this line is separated into three. The first one, Shippatsu Shinkao series, or Departing Now, is the most recognized, featuring a magnet stick that could be used as a remote which kids would wave over engines to make them move forwards. It also featured switchable faces, happy, sad, and angry for some engines, as well as scaled plastic people and name boards, basically giving children tools to recreate the show with their toys, except a camera. Which is probably the most remarkable part of this product. While it's cool to see the different styles and liberties that different toy lines took with Thomas, it's also nice to see one that so accurately represents the toys to the show. Of course, with all of its features, the cost to produce these items was quite high, and so, presumably, store prices would reflect that. Which is why, at the same time, another line by the name of Puradero was produced. This line, made from 1991 to 1992, was basically the Departing Now engines with their motor removed, making them a push-along version, essentially. They were also sold without track, as these would have been sold alongside Departing Now, so it wasn't necessary. Presumably the idea was that a kid could go to the store and get one or two full train sets from Departing Now, and get other characters through Puradera so they aren't as expensive. Then we come to 1995, when Departing Now was discontinued and a new cost-cutting line was introduced to replace it, in this case the Thomas Rail series. This line had the motors, but removed switchable faces and hollowed-out cabs. Instead, the cabs were now molded over and had stickers to represent them. And Puradera came back again as an even cheaper alternative, in this case with the updates of the Thomas Rail series and removed motors, this lasting from 1995 to 1996. And then 1 year later, in 1997, the Thomas Rail series was discontinued, and any remnants of Departing Now in stores was gone. With that being said, I want to take a look now at the engines and rolling stock I have from Departing Now and Puradera, and see my opinions on them and how good they are in truth. Starting with Thomas, my only Departing Now engine. For starters, I really enjoy the proportions of this toy. It's almost perfect in comparison to the show. He also includes a sliding cab door to place figures into. Unfortunately, I don't own any of the figures this Thomas would have come with, but I can use some LEGO minifigs in as example, which, coincidentally, are a nice size in comparison to the Departing Now engines for playability, similarly to the pullback cars you get at pharmacies, which I'm also quite fond of. Now, I am fortunate enough to own all of the face masks for this Thomas, but I can't say I'm a fan of all of them. The happy one strays a bit into the uncanny valley for me, with its stare and wide smile. Isn't the worst happy face I've seen, though. The sad face, in my opinion, feels more akin to something you see for Percy, then again. But at the very least, the angry face is an amazing representation of the character, which is fitting. Moving on, we have James, who I again have similar compliments to when coming to proportions, and rather than a sliding cab, he has an open one, including space for figures, as well as space on the tender for people to be located. James, however, doesn't come with separate faces, as this is his Puradera release. However, his happy face still doesn't fit James exactly for me. Luckily, for those who want better faces for these toys, the Golden Bear faces are a nice stand-in, fitting perfectly on the smoke box. Next up, we have coaches and trucks. Starting with Annie and Clarabelle. I really like these. They're a bit squished compared to the TV show iterations, but I don't mind. In fact, if I remove the stickers, these two would work perfectly as branch line coaches. The only real complaint I have is that I can't open up the roofs to place people inside, which would seem like a natural idea for this line. Then we have the Troublesome Trucks. The best Troublesome Trucks. There is literally only one flaw I have with these, and it's that the doors on the van don't open. But besides that, these are an amazing representation of the models from the show, with a nice amount of detail represented through stickers. Great toys. So yeah, those are my overall thoughts on this Japanese line of toys. And since I don't have a proper ending to this video, I decided why not do a little scene recreation from The Great Discovery with the items that I have.
Thomas whooshed around the corner, puffing and huffing, just in front of James. "I won!" tooted Thomas. "Hooray! Bad luck, James." James's cheeks were as red as his paintwork. "I'll win on the way back to Tidmouth." "Well done, both of you," Mr. Percival announced loudly. "James, you are to unload barges here at the wharf." James smiled. He liked that job. Now he didn't mind losing the race. And the special goes to the winner, Thomas. Thomas was excited. "You are to work with Duncan. You will bring lumber from the hills down to the wharf. It's a very important job." Thomas wished a whiff of steam. He was disappointed. He wanted to work at the wharf. And Duncan was tricky. He liked to tease the big engines, especially Thomas. "Duncan," added Mr. Percival, "please look after Thomas." "Mr. Percival says that because you mainline engines don't know the tracks in the hills," Duncan teased. "Yes, we do. Mr. Percival wants me to work with you because you little engines can only carry small loads," teased Thomas back. Duncan huffed crossly away.